My name is Captain Tyler Espinoza. I'm a company commander for the Alpha Command Aviation Company in the 1st Air Cav Brigade. Command the 8-ship helicopter company here in northern Afghanistan, conducting all kinds of operations, anything from VIP to air assault operations, aerial resupply, general air movement across the battle space, just extending our footprint and the power of the U.S. in the northern RC North. Flying a helicopter is basically trying to ride a unicycle on ice at first. Then you finally graduate flight school, you get out here, on my 3rd combat deployment now. I've been, nearly 1,500 flight hours, and you get a chance to work with all these other guys and teach other people, and all it is now is it's an extension of your body. Like, the aircraft, we can wield it and make it do pretty much whatever we want it to do. We can make it, when I want it, I can just think of the aircraft turning left and the aircraft's going to turn left because it's so ingrained is in your body. It's not something that a lot of people get a chance to experience. I mean, the flying stuff, that's just part of the job, and you get used to it, and you love it and you enjoy it. That's why we get into this, why we get into, especially commissioned guys like, you and me, we get into lead soldiers, and being an aviator, being branched aviation is just a perk of that. Being able to jump in a helicopter, strap it on, and go fly around. But really leading the soldiers, being with the warrant officers, learning from them, working with great staff officers, I think that's really what makes it most enjoyable, which is the camaraderie of the Alpha Company, how tight-knit, our small unit is. There's nothing we can't accomplish because everyone's got each other's back. Jumping out there and turning wrenches with the crew chiefs, joking, smoking with these guys. That's something you don't get anywhere else. That's something you can't find in the civilian world, something you can't find anywhere else except in the military, and especially in a combat environment. The biggest thing I think I'll miss is it's going to be the crew chiefs, probably, just because they're so funny. Oh man, they work their butts off for us. They work so hard out here in the rain and the snow and the wind, and they don't complain. They're cranking wrenches. They want to get the best helicopters out on the line. And sometimes they get taken for granted sometimes, and that's really what I'll miss most, is that hard work that they put their heart and their soul and their entire effort into make a mission. And that's, sometimes it's almost to a fault for Alpha Company because we're so mission oriented. The crew chiefs, the pilots, we will do anything to get the mission done. It's always a no-fail mentality. To my first sergeant, Lugaroth, for bringing me this far and for keeping the guys straight, making my job easy. And that's just because of, his hard work and his dedication to everything that he's done. It's been awesome. Couldn't have done it without him. Yeah, thanks to my parents for supporting me and helping me get this far. My mom and my dad, and of course, both my brothers, they're up in DC. Of course, last but not least, my wife, my loving wife, who's been there supporting me the whole time. And my beautiful daughter, who I cannot wait to get home and see. With my wife and I getting pregnant, I was actually at JRTC when I found out, planning it. It was like our final culmination exercise, air assault with 310 Mountain. I found out and I was in shock for the most part. It was almost surreal, like, man, is she really serious about us pregnant right now? The timeline was the worst. I mean, we could not have planned it worse if we tried. The deployment with when we thought the baby was going to be born, and sure enough, it worked out just like that, where we had just deployed. Jen was 7 months pregnant, so it was too early for me to come back home for the birth because we had just deployed, and it was too late for me to stay back in the rear and deploy late, especially as a company commander. Going to a new theater with much higher risk than what we had experienced in Baghdad the previous deployment. So between me deploying to a more dangerous environment was real stressful on her, and it was, of course, stressful on me bringing a company out here that had never seen this environment before, and with me being a future daddy, I think the stress was on all of us. And then, thank God, we were able to use modern technology like Skype, and I watched my daughter be born in our MWR tent over here. It was a great event. Jennifer texted me to my Roshan cell phone, said, hey, I think the baby's coming. So of course I had pulled myself off the flight schedule for those few days when we figured the baby was going to come. walked in there. I told the NCOIC of the tent, I was like, hey, my daughter is going to be born today in the next whatever hours, you know. And she pulled a computer off to the side, set everything up for me, blocked it off. And for the next 5-6 hours, you know, I was able to watch Jennifer go into labor, get her epidural. You know, she set the computer up next to her face, and watch the whole birth happen. It was amazing. We had it Skyping. You know, I had the video right by Jennifer's face, and she's pushing, and you see the nurses in there, and I'm trying to coach her along. As I felt kind of like hey, I'm almost like I'm so far away, what can I really do? But all I could do is what I could, which was encourage her to keep pushing and hang in there and just fight through the pain, and it's going to be over soon. And you hear one last push, and then you hear a quick little sound from a baby, and you see the baby being put on her chest. And she looks up at the screen, and I can see her face. Her eyes wide open. So I think it's going to be a wonderful reunion for me and my wife. She's been through another deployment with me already to Iraq, and I think this one's going to be extra sweet and special just because we have Isley now. So getting home to see her is going to be the best thing ever. And then, of course, warming up to the new baby that may or may not, you know, want to be around Daddy yet, but I think she'll figure out quickly how much I look forward to seeing her and being with her, and that missing her birth was a sacrifice that our family had decided to do, you know, and a sacrifice that a lot of people don't have the opportunity or privilege to do. And it was a hard decision, but I think it was the right decision for our mission, and that's what we signed up to do. And unfortunately, that's some of the prices that we pay. It's just been a great experience, and I couldn't have asked for a better third rotation or first rotation here in Afghanistan. Just seeing how blessed we are to be in America and have all the entities and all the things that we could possibly want at our fingertips. It's just there's no comparison.
Hey, bring up the hot rod. Let's go. Great idea. You don't have suits. Are you? Took it well.